met jou vandaag? What is good and new with you today? That was in Afrikaans. my Afrikaans is very limited, so I only know a few important phrases, so I can get by. Welcome, Isabel. Welcome, Tony. Welcome, Peter. Welcome, Cindy. Welcome, Veronica. Virtual hug. Hello, Mary, all the way out in Pennsylvania, sending her love and light to all. Hello, Mariette. Hello, Amanda. Hello. How are you? Oh my goodness. Oh no. I haven't gone live yet. Okay, let's start again. Okay, go. All right, let's go to the brand and let's begin. Okay, go live. Go live. Hello, everybody, and welcome. The assistant just played a big joke on me. Something that happened was, for whatever reason, I hit the start broadcasting button, and it told me it was broadcasting, and so I started speaking and welcoming everybody and going through the list of everyone who is present here today, saying hello. How are you? And all that kind of thing. And the next thing I know is I see that there's a message saying an error happened and you're not live. I was talking to myself for about 3 minutes or so until I realized, oh my goodness, I'm not live yet. Yeah, it's April's Fool's Day in StreamYard land. Welcome, everybody. Hello, I'm Gabriel Gonsalves, your host of this weekly broadcast I like to call the Heart Stream. And I'm broadcasting live from the south of Spain in the beautiful city of Granada. So, buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Hello, Linda Luz. Beautiful light. Hello, Mary. I was live. Okay, then I don't know what happened. All right, so joke's on me. I wonder how many recordings are going to be left of this in here. Okay, now you see what happens when these things, this jokes, I guess the joke's on me. But the system did tell me I wasn't broadcasting live, so that's why I had to hit again. All right, so anyway, hello, everybody. It's the third time. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm glad. Well, I think the issue came up because it was actually on Facebook where the error message came up on. So I think that may have been it. So anyway, this replay, I'm probably going to have to go back and edit it somehow to trim out all the double introductions. But now you know what a good actor I am, right? Now I can actually start the whole thing from the very beginning. Kind of reminds me of my soap opera days where you do a take and then you thought it was like the take was really good. And then the director says nope, didn't like it, do another one. So you do another one, you do another one, and you do another one, and you do another one. That kind of reminds me, last night I saw a really beautiful film on Netflix. It's an autobiographical movie called Honey Boy. It's the life of Sheila Blues. I can never remember how to pronounce his surname. And it's actually his struggle dealing with post-traumatic stress syndrome that occurred actually as a result of trauma incurred by his own father, who was managing his acting career as a child, and the emotional and even physical abuse that he underwent as a child, and that how affected him, how he sought refuge in alcohols and drugs and sex, until finally, after so many different kinds of offenses, he ended up having to go to a rehab center where, through the help of some really wonderful therapists and very loving and compassionate, yet, tough loving people, he was able to, come to terms with what really happened during his childhood, and come to a place of tremendous amount of compassion and forgiveness for his own dad, also understanding his own father's own wounding, to the point where I would even dare to say, as an artist myself, that the cycle of healing came to an end when he took all this pain and all this suffering and created art out of it, and wrote a script and directed a movie where he himself gets to play his own father. So talk about doing shadow work. Okay, and those of you who sat with me in class and have learned Ken Wilber's 3-2-1 shadow work, you remember that part of the work involves literally becoming that shadow, becoming that being, that person, that thing that triggers you, that scares you, that challenges you, so that you can, by embodying that person, that being, you can really walk in their shoes, feel what it's like to be them, experience life from their perspective, even experience their pain. And then from that space, it becomes easier then to understand them, to extend your heart out to them, and eventually be able to forgive them. So you see that beautifully played out in the movie. Okay, it's called Honey Boy. It's the life of Shia LeBlum. I can't remember his name. I'm not really, I can't really say that I've watched many of his films, but he did an outstanding job, and I think he did it primarily as a healing exercise, and not only that, to also as a compassionate exercise with the rest of the world, as a way to help heal other people. All right. Okay. So those of you who are joining us right now, hello, welcome. Hello, Lila. Hello, Erica. You missed the double, nearly triple take. It's got some really funny. Yeah, I think if I had to put an emoji, it would be like one of the little faces that are like really red, like high temperature, because that's certainly how I felt. For me, that's the feeling of embarrassment, but I guess more than anything, shame. Hello, Jennifer. Welcome. How are you guys? How's your week so far? Are you feeling the energies? Are you feeling the change in the seasons? It certainly has affected me over the past few days. I felt a bit more vulnerable than normally, and I can also feel that this is, for me, it's like the end of a period, the end of a season, and the beginning of a new one that opens up with excitement and also with quite a bit of uncertainty. All right, so welcome, Teresa. Veronica says yes. The feelings are strong. Yeah. Teresa, welcome from Louis from El Paso, Texas. All right. So just a quick reminder. I'm not going to put the slides on, but just a quick reminder that we are now a month away from the official beginning or launch of the Heart Warrior Training Program and the Heart Leader Training Program. Okay. If you haven't enrolled, please enroll, because each group is only limited to 8 participants. Okay. So you have still a month away, but there's been quite a bit of interest. And so if you want to secure your spot, it's important that you signed up. The Heart Warrior, it's all about giving you the tools for the battle. Okay, for the shadow battle, learning how to, in essence, hold your own light, the light within your own heart, so that you can hold it for other people. It covers 3 of the modules of the Heart Leader Academy's training. The foundational module, where you see all the foundational principles, the practices, the pillars. And then we move into emotional self-mastery and really understand everything that has to do with emotions and learn how to become more coherent, how to transmute emotions, how to surrender emotions, how to channel emotions. And then the last part of the training is all about compassion and communication. Then also how to communicate from a greater place of compassion and understanding with other people so that you can experience a deeper connection. And as the training itself says, it's a training on warriorship. So for somebody who's already in the battle, somebody who wants to learn how to remain calm and centered in what we all know it's a highly emotionally charged world, how to bring greater light to all their relationships, how to initiate their own healing journey, integrating their own shadow. We speak a great deal about shadow. And so it's for somebody that's really in here now in the battle and wants the tools. Heart leader, however, it's for somebody who wants to be, think of it as a general in the army, somebody who has a longer term vision, somebody who is or feels the call to adventure to be a leader, some kind of a leader, somebody who wants to be of greater service to humanity, yet you're not sure exactly how you want to serve. Perhaps you want to become a coach. And if that's the case, then there's a whole module that gives you the tools and even qualifies you. It's a certified training in heart intelligence coaching. So it's for anybody that wants to acquire the tools of heart intelligence coaching, heart leadership, who wants to build a practice, business around a particular area of specialty so that you can bring your gift and your service to humanity. You learn how to follow your heart. You learn the process of how to create a reality using the energy, the power of your heart. So basically, it's all about creating a vision and then stepping into that vision and then learning all the tools that are going to allow you to manifest that vision. We talk about coaching. We talk about enrollment, how to enroll clients, how to get other people's support. We talk about the 4 pillars of your specific practice that are, in essence, what it's going to get you the success. We talk about the path of transcendence, which is in essence the path of personal Christhood. How once we have this vision and we choose this vision and decide to step into it, part of it has to die. The part of us that is not in alignment with that vision. So all the addictions, all the blocks, all the traumas, all these things that are getting in the way of us being that person that we know we came here to be, have to be in essence pinned at the cross. So we talk about how to get initiated on our own path of personal Christhood. And then eventually, the later part of the training is all about building your own leadership development plan, which is in essence your vision. Primarily because I believe that I cannot qualify you as a leader. Nobody can. Reading a book, taking a course on leadership, it's not going to make you a leader. What ultimately makes you a leader is you having walked the path of leadership. Okay, so it is the path of leadership that qualifies you. It's you having built that vision, that practice, that goal that you had in mind. It's the journey that qualifies you then. As a result of walking that journey, building that practice, becoming that person, it is then that is what qualifies you. Okay, a lot of people are waiting to get a certificate in leadership before they can become leaders. And the path that I teach is like, no, find out what it is that you're being guided to do. Where is your heart directing you? Okay, what is the divine asking of you? What is the divine? What is God asking of you? In what direction are you being called to go? And then start moving in that direction. And then as you move in that direction and begin to take the necessary steps to become that person, to build that vision, and on that journey is then where you become a leader. All right, so if you're interested in these programs, once again, you can find out more about these programs on my website, GabrielGonsalves.com, okay, under training programs. So now on to today's topic. Today we are talking about the Crown Chakra. The reason I'm hesitating is because I almost said it's our last session, but it is not. We still have one more session of this 12-part series. Today actually is the 11th session. Can you believe it? We've actually been on this journey of through the 7 healing chakras already 11 times around the week. So today we're going to focus on bringing greater light and healing to our Crown Chakra. It's an energy center that sits just above our head. So we began, if you recall, with the root chakra, and the root chakra sits just about 2-3 inches below our coccyx, right the bottom of our spine. Okay, the counterpart or the opposite of our root would be our crown. And it also sits just 2-3 inches. You know, some people can actually have broken down this chakra into even more chakras that extend way even higher. So we're talking about the alpha and the omega, the beginning and the end. The one that connects you to the earth, being the root, like a tree, and the one that connects you to the heavens, like the crown of a tree. Now, if you recall, we've been using this metaphor of a tree to journey through these different chakras. We spoke about how the root chakra equals the roots of the tree, and then as we move into the sacral chakra, that's almost like the trunk of the tree, and then we move into the solar plexus, and then that's the tree beginning to branch out, right? Almost to like hug and let everybody know, like, look at me, this is how powerful I am. And then as we move into the heart, then all these leaves go out, and then there's like this breathing. Right? In this area is where we have both the heart and the lungs. So this is the tree now breathing. And then as we move now into the throat chakra, you can think of now like the entire tree now is expressing itself. You see the majesty of the tree, and the tree is now expressing its own beauty, its own truth. And then as we move into now the pineal gland, or the brow chakra, as I was often refer to it, we go there. Now is the beginning of the flower now begin to form, right? It's still like in a bud. So think of the pineal gland, it's still kind of like a bud. And if you recall, if you ever looked in your garden or nature, before the flower ever comes, there's just like this little bud, right? Sometimes it looks like a little fruit, right? And it's just like this little bud, and it almost looks like a bean. All right, so think of it. That is now the part within us that we call the brow chakra, your third eye, center of inner vision, insight, awareness. And so now, as we move into the crown chakra, I want you to think in terms of now this flower begins to open up. And so when we go into today's guided meditation, the image I'm going to invite you to work with is a beautiful flower at the top of your head that begins to now to open up. And if you notice, all flowers, as they open up, where do they point? They point towards the sun, right? There now is the flourishing of consciousness, also known as enlightenment. The flower opens up to receive not only the light, but also to exude its beauty, its essence, and now to summon, right, the bees. So think of it as we talk about the crown chakra, we're talking about the chakra that is normally associated with enlightenment. Enlightenment, not as a state that you experience once and then you become enlightened forever. No, but as the part of you that opens up to the divine and then lets in so much light, as this light is also deflected down into the rest of the chakras, that suddenly there is a feeling of lightness, access to greater, higher truth, access also to a greater understanding and even knowledge that goes beyond your rational mind. Okay. It's one of the reasons why Dr. Hawkins says to reach these higher levels of enlightenment, you have to lose your mind, because once this greater knowledge begins to show up or begins to be channeled or received by you, it will be superior than anything that you conceive with your rational mind. In fact, more often than not, we have to let go of all these ideas of right or wrong or anything we've ever learned to, in essence, this welcome this higher wisdom, this higher intelligence. So we are all candidates, as Reverend Michael Beckwith often says, we're all candidates for enlightenment. And we catch glimpses of it. Okay? But we all experience moments of enlightenment. We all experience moments of enlightenment when we fall in love, where suddenly all these chakras open up. Okay? But what we're looking at doing then here by having a dedicated meditation practice is to continue to bring the awareness, the energy to all these different chakras and to open up to receive more and more and more light. Which is also why when we go into our meditation today, we're going to be working with light. So flower, light, your crown. It is in essence your connection with the divine. How interesting it is, don't you think, that that this word in Spanish for crown is linda luz, corona, the corona. And isn't it interesting that we've all been speaking about the word crown, corona, for the past 2 years, almost now, right? Being afraid of it, associating the word crown, corona with fear, with disease, with death, where from a spiritual perspective, our crown is that connecting point to the mind of God, to our holy Christ self, to our own divinity, just like our root holds us connected to the earth. Our crown is that energetic center that holds that connection with the divine. And so today, I want to invite you to, anytime you hear that word, crown, in Spanish, and associated with negativity and fear and disease and death and all of that, that you reframe it. Accessing greater light through your crown chakra and bringing that light into the body, and remembering that your heart is also that central meeting place between the lower chakras and the higher chakras, and is the generator right within you. And so as you harness that light generated within the heart, and it begins to move, circulating through all the different energy centers, I want you to think of all of this is strengthening your immune system. Right? It's harmonizing your different bodies. It's also helping you as think of it as the flower in many ways, just like the Crown Chakra acts as an antenna. Believe it or not, it acts as an antenna. And so as an antenna that becomes almost like those dish satellites, very open and receptive to greater light, to greater knowledge, to greater wisdom. Okay, so as I said earlier, it is our place of receptivity for what we would normally call the Christed energy. Now, if any of you guys have done my, what's it called? Awakening the Christ Within You guided meditation, I think it's called. One of the things that we do is I start basically at the crown, receiving the light, and then bringing that light through each one of these energy centers. And we're going to be doing something similar next week as a way to bring greater harmony to all of these energetic centers. But today our focus will be here. Now, before we begin to bring greater light and an expansion and focus awareness to this chakra, and obviously lots of healing to it as well, I want to invite you to do an exercise with me. And this is something that I learned from Alberto Villoldo, who was a shaman, amazing medical doctor, is also a shaman. And this is also what is also taught in the African native traditions. In many of the African native traditions, they believe that behind every person, there is a giant version of yourself. It's like it's like a giant, right? And you could say, or you could equate this this tradition, right, to basically what would be your higher self, right? We call it a higher self because it's actually taller, bigger than you. It's one of the things that oftentimes when people say to you something along the lines of like, you until you pass away and are beyond this body, you will never realize how powerful and how big you are. And I think they're always making reference to that higher self, that higher aspect of ourselves that transcends our humanity. So in the African traditions, they believe this aspect of yourself is always standing really, really tall behind you. And one of the ways to access it in a very short amount of time is actually to lean back into it. Okay, so as we go into this guided process, what I'm going to invite you to do is to lean back into, one of the ways the African shamans do this is by literally having you walk backwards, take back like 3-4 steps. They say, if you want to align with this higher version of yourself that is so tall that can see the future, can see everything, has access to all the knowledge and all the wisdom, and you have to walk back into it, step into it. All right, so let us begin, shall we? Hello, David Strong, welcome. Hello, who else joined us just after my triple introduction? I'm still laughing, still feeling the shame. Linda says, I love the metaphor and the visual. Hello, Geraldine Kelly, welcome. All right, so let's begin. Let me put on some music and let's begin our guided meditation journey to bring greater light and healing and harmony to our chakra corona, our crown chakra, our flowering chakra, the one that opens up to divinity. All right, as we begin, since we're going to be drawing so much light into this energy center, is important, mucho, and muy importante. You put your feet on the ground and ground yourself. Okay. Carl Jung has this wonderful saying, that which gives light must be willing to endure the burning. So if we're bringing in more and more light into our bodies, it's important that we are able to stay grounded. Think of a candle as opposed to a raging fire that kind of loses power because it's being blown away. So rather we anchor ourselves like a volcano. In fact, that's a wonderful image that we can work with, the image of a volcano. Take a few moments to find the most comfortable position right there where you're at. And as you make yourself comfortable, lean slightly forward as you gently close your eyes. Now, as you're leaning slightly forward, imagine that right behind you there's a giant version of yourself, huge, stands right behind you and reaches all the way up as far as the eye can see. And as I count to 3, I'd like to invite you to slowly begin to lean now backwards until you now align with that giant. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Begin to now lean back as if stepping right into their shoes. Occupying the energetic space where they are. And at the same time, allowing yourself now to become taller in your posture, grounded to the earth, fully inhabiting your greatness. You're still you, you're still the human you, but you're now aligned with this higher aspect of yourself that always stands behind you. An aspect of you that has access to infinite knowledge. An aspect of yourself that has access to a higher truth. Feel its power, feel its strength, feel its love. As you now begin to breathe in and out of the heart. Allowing that breath to become nice and slow, nice and deep, and nice and even, so that the inhale and the exhale are approximately the same length. We breathe down into the roots, wiggling our toes and feeling our connection with the earth, feeling appreciative of the support of our earthly mother, the elemental life, earth, wind, fire, and water, remembering that we are made out of the substance of the earth. Breathing down into the sacral chakra where the genitals are, feeling gratitude for our sexuality, sensuality, and our desire to connect with each other, to open up to all of life and the joy of life. This is the center where our divine feminine and divine masculine interact with each other. Breathing now also into the stomach and allowing the belly to be filled with appreciation for the radiant sun in the middle of our chest. Giving thanks for the sense of who we are, Thanks for the capacity that we have to make choices, decide who we want to be, what we want to do, and manifest our potential. Breathing now into the heart as we feel gratitude and appreciation for the love that powers our lives, the loving relationships around us. Breathing now into the throat, feeling now the opening and the softening of the vocal cords, feeling appreciation for our ability to speak our truth, ask for what we want and need. Our ability to express our creativity, express who we are in an authentic way. Breathing now into the Brow Chakra, the center of the head. As we feel now gratitude for the visions, the goals, the projects that inform and guide our lives. Feeling appreciation for the direction that we're walking and for how far we have come. Remembering that we did not get here to get here. We did not work so hard to get this far to get this far. But like the universe itself, we're in a constant stage of expansion and growth. And that within us, there's a capacity to transcend anything that we see or perceive as a limitation, as a block, but tapping into an even higher potential. And that is the potential that is offered to us by our crown, our connection with our divine selves, our higher selves. Now imagine that the tiny little seed or bud, rather, of the flower that it's in the center of your head begins to rise from the middle of the head. It rises up just like a little flower. You've seen little flowers sometimes. They're just like this little bud, and then they begin to move higher and upward towards the light. Imagine that pineal gland, that little bean-looking gland within the middle of the head, rises up like a flowering bud until it now begins to make its way outside of your head, and it's now about 2 or 3 inches above it. And on the count of 3, I'm going to invite you to breathe into your heart and send love and light from the heart out to that bud so that it then opens. Ready? Deep inhale into the heart. 1, 2, 3. Breathe into that flower, and now allow the flower above your head to open up, letting its petals now gently unfold. Stretching, opening up in the same way in which you stretch in the mornings after a long sleep and go, feel as each petal opens up. And as it opens up, it releases its fragrance. It releases its love. And as it releases its essence, it becomes now open and available and receptive to the sun's light, to nurture it, to feed it. For the next few moments, as you continue to breathe in and out of the heart, become receptive to the sun's light. Become receptive to the unconditional love of the heart of the Father and the Mother. As I speak this prayer on your behalf. In the name of the Father, the Mother, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. In the name of the light held in the sacred heart of Buddha, Sanat Kumara, Gautama, Jesus the Christ, and Lord Maitreya. In the name of the pure essence within the sacred heart of Mother Mary, I call to the divine light of God to fully now shine within our crown chakras. May the flowering of our consciousness now be accelerated, accentuated, and enhanced according to the divine will for each and every one of us. May the golden crown above our heads shine 1,000 lights. With each breath that I take into, and I allow the light at the crown to enter through all other chakras. Allow my body to be filled with light, so that only light and only light flows to me and flows from me. Light filled with knowledge, light filled with wisdom, light filled with truth. Mighty I am presence in the heart of God. I am that I am that I am. Thy perfect wisdom and knowledge. I am that I am that I am. The truth of all ages. I am that I am that I am. The flowering of my consciousness here and now. I am that I am that I am. A vehicle of light and love. Imagine now, as this beautiful hour continues to be open, that a gentle rain begins to fall from the heavens. And allow this rain now to begin to wash you and pour all over you. Like a flower that welcomes the rain, allow the rain now to begin to wash you clean. Let it carry now anything and everything that has kept you up until now from accessing your Holy Christ self. Let anything that blocks your connection with your higher self now be washed away. If you were one of those persons who, as a child, were criticized for having the gift of clairvoyance or seeing things that adults could not see, and others made fun of you, and for whatever reason you decided to close that gift, allow now the gentle rain from the heavens now to wash away all the wounds, all those criticisms, all that programming, any feelings of shame you may have felt. Letting it all go, letting it all be washed away, cleansing you, purifying you. Feeling the cool of the gentle rain, the mist. Letting go of all anger, guilt, shame, fear. Letting go of fear of being different from other people. Letting go of feel of shame and shame for wanting to express your divine essence. Deeply releasing and letting go what no longer serves you and keeps you from accessing the truth held in the heart of God, the wisdom held within your own higher self. As it's all washed away, if there are any tears, allow the tears to flow. Let it all be part of the experience of being cleansed and purified by this heavenly rain that cleanses it all. And just as on a rainy day, after the mist that follows, there's a rainbow that shows up. Imagine now, beautiful rainbow right above your head. Beautiful flower above you, open, receptive to the multi-colors and ways. And allow now all these beautiful colors of light to now to penetrate through the flower and move down into all the other chakras. Like the yellows, the pinks, the blues, the turquoise, the orange. Let it all flow now. Until all the waters of the rain have now receded, and all there is just the sun and only the sun, shining bright and supremely, warming you up, drying you, reminding you that behind every storm there's always the light that darkness is only an optical illusion, for the sun never shuts down or turns off. We just simply look the other way, creating the illusion of darkness. We experience darkness when we forget that we are light. We experience darkness when we run away from our own light. But now we get to choose light, to be light, to radiate light, to become one with this light. So we now allow the fullness of the entire spectrum of light now to enter into our light bodies, our energy bodies, and fill ourselves with this light. As I declare on your behalf, I am light, glowing light, radiating light, intensified light. God consumes my darkness and transmutes it into light. This day, I am a focus of the central sun. Flowing through me is a crystal river of light, which can never be qualified by human thought and feeling. I am an outpost of the divine. Such darkness as has used me is now swallowed up by the mighty river of light, which I am. I am light. I live in light. I am light's fullest dimension. I am light's purest intention. I am light, flooding the world everywhere I move, blessing, strengthening, and conveying the glory of the kingdom of heaven. I am light. Mary is light. Geraldine is light. Mel is light. Linda is luz. She is. Veronica, she's light. David, he's light. Jennifer's light. Erica, Teresa, they are light. Leela, light. Isabel, light. Mariette, light. Erica, Wanda, Tony, Peter, Cindy, light. I am light, glowing light, radiating light. Say it, feel it, know it. Light is knowledge. I am infinite knowledge. I am the capacity to transcend my human limitations by the power inherent in my divine holy Christ self. Each day I'm unifying myself more and more with my higher self, making decisions that are in greater alignment with how God sees me, making higher decisions about my finances, about my relationships, about my physical wellness, the foods I eat, the places I visit, the activities that I engage in each and every day. I am aligning more and more with my own holy Christ self. Allow my body to become a channel of God's love. Allow my brain to become a channel of God's knowledge. Allow my heart to become a channel of God's love and compassion. Allow my human will to become a channel of God's will, so that God's will may be done through these hands. That all I do may glorify God in, through, and as my life and in everything that I do. And that others may know God through me and as me. That my presence in the world be beneficial to all of life. That my expansion into God's light within me may also help expand the light of God on this planet, giving birth to a higher frequency of divine love, otherwise known as the second coming of the Christ, within us, within the flowering of our own consciousness. For this, I am infinitely grateful and thankful. Letting this now be the ultimate reality about who I am in Christ. Declaring that I am God's light in me. I am the flowering of my consciousness. I am light. I am light. I am. As we're now gently returning to the full awareness of our physical presence here and now, I want to remind you that every time that we summon so much light at that moment, because we live in a physical reality, more often than not, that light also summons a lot of the darkness, okay? This physical universe that operates on duality is just part of it. The moment we decide to become more loving, all the unlovingness within us begins to come out. The moment we summon more light in our own places where there's been darkness, begin to then to come to the surface, okay? So the invitation is to continue to remain in a deeply loving, compassionate place for yourself. Should any old wounds, old feelings of anger, regret, guilt, shame, or anything like that may come up, and remembering that the reason it's coming up in the first place is because you've summoned all this light, okay? So please be aware of that, and should that happen, please be loving and compassionate with yourself, okay? You're very loving and compassionate for yourself. Just simply say like, Gabriel did tell us that when we summon so much love, the unlovingness comes up. And when we summon so much light, the darkness comes up. Okay? It doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. Quite the opposite. It actually means that you're on the right path. Okay? And so that's more often than not why sometimes following a spiritual path can be so challenging, because, you know, we all have this idea that it's going to be just like all beautiful flowers and everybody sitting by the fire, holding hands, singing Kumbaya, and everything's going to be beautiful. And more often than not, it's not. We have glimpses of that. We have moments like that. But the tendency is for then all the unlovingness, everything that has been suppressed, repressed, unacknowledged, begins to come forth. So think about it this way. If you had a house and it's been in the darkness for a very long time, as you bring in the light, like, right, you pay your electricity bill, and now suddenly there's all this light, you put all these light bulbs, what's going to happen? Well, you're now going to see all the little creepy crawlers and all the dust and all the areas that before you couldn't see because there wasn't enough light. So summoning now all this light, okay, you now see things that like scare you. It's like, yeah, just go to a mirror, okay, stand in front of the mirror and then put like lots of light in front of you, and then look at yourself, and you're going to see things in your skin that you did not even know that were there, wrinkles that you're like, oh my God, all these things I wasn't aware I had. Well, light does that. All right, my beautiful friends, we come to the end of our time together. So I want to thank you once again. Thank you, Wanda. Wanda says, this meditation was beautiful, but stop with the rainbow. Stop with the rainbow. Oh, Mel. Oh, Mel. Oh, Mel. What does that mean? Thank you. Love this session. Love you, says Mary. You're welcome, Mary. Love you very much too. Juana says, I am light. Yeah, you are. You are. Linda Lou says, beautiful, powerful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Blessings of light, Gabriel. Yeah, great. Thank you. All right. Well, once again, thank you so much for allowing me into your hearts and into your busy weeks, so that we could connect. And Teresa says, thank you so much, Gabriel. Love our time together. God bless everybody. You're welcome. Geraldine says, beautiful, a lot of healing, much needed. Wonderful. Peter says, thank you, Gab. This was amazing, beautiful. You're welcome, Peter. All right, guys. So next week, when we resume, we'll now be doing an alignment of all the chakras, basically a tune-up. I'm calling it, even though you could say that we begin a little bit of that tune-up today. Something that naturally begins to happen. You know, one of the things about the Crown Chakra, I remember I once had a spiritual teacher that told me that the Crown Chakra, it's normally the last one to open because it requires all the other ones to open up. So it's it's very similar to what I was speaking about. For the flower to blossom, there has to be roots, there has to be a trunk, there has to be branches, there has to be leaves, there has to be obviously a flower. Okay. Now, you can think of what we're going to be doing next week is now to really allow now the fruits and the seeds, the flowering, basically the greater manifestation or the manifestation of a higher order to basically take place. You can think of that as the fruit, and then obviously the seeds that then fall on the ground that give birth to new visions, new plants, and so forth. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing next week. So until then, please take care of yourself so that you can take care of other people. And as always, I send you all my love from my heart to yours. Bye-bye for now. Bye, Cindy. Bye, Peter. Bye, Jennifer. Bye, Teresa, Isabel. Thank you so much. Thank you, beautiful people. Have a fantastic rest of your week. Bye-bye.